In 2002, South Korea eliminated Italy and Spain from the World Cup on home soil and shocked the entire planet. In 2018, they did it again, eliminating Germany, the defending World Cup champions, in the group stage with a last-minute two-goal comeback that no one saw coming. So let me ask you this. With the FIFA World Cup 2026 now upon us, what happens when that same South Korea side meets one of the most experienced, battle-hardened World Cup nations on earth in Mexico? Because this is not just a group stage fixture. This is a collision between two football philosophies, two proud nations with everything to prove, and two squads carrying enough individual talent to change a match in a single moment. I'm going to break down exactly how this game gets won and lost, the tactical blueprint, the key duels, the X factors, and our final prediction. And I'll tell you right now, our predicted scoreline is going to surprise you. Stay with us. This is Football Kick Theory. Before we get into tactics, let's be clear about what is actually on the line here. At a 48-team World Cup, group stage qualification requires discipline. You cannot afford to drop points against opponents at your level, because in a crowded group, goal difference and head-to-head record can be the difference between advancing to the round of 32 and booking a flight home. For Mexico, this is a statement game. El Tri have reached the round of 16 at every World Cup since 1994, 7 consecutive tournaments, and then exited at the same stage every single time. That record is a source of immense national pride and deep national frustration in equal measure. This squad wants to be the generation that breaks that ceiling. 3 points here sets that mission in motion. For South Korea, the calculation is different but equally urgent. They arrive with arguably the greatest player in their nation's history still leading the line, a player currently approaching the final World Cup of his peak years. This is the tournament Son Heung-min has been building toward his entire career. His teammates know it. The nation knows it. The pressure inside that dressing room is immense. This match, on paper, looks like a contest between experience and energy. But football is never played on paper. Mexico, how they'll play. Let's start with Mexico, because understanding their approach is the key to understanding how this entire game unfolds. Mexico, under their current setup, are a possession-dominant side. They want the ball. They want to dictate tempo. They build from the back patiently, use the full width of the pitch intelligently, and look to create overloads in wide areas before cutting inside to dangerous positions. Their biggest weapon in this structure is Edson Álvarez in the base of midfield. Álvarez is not a flashy player. He will not score a bicycle kick, and he will not feature on the tournament highlights reel. But he is arguably the most important Mexican player on the pitch. He wins second balls. He reads danger before it develops. He organizes the defensive shape when South Korea transitions. Every time Mexico has played without Álvarez at full fitness, their defensive structure has looked visibly less secure. Ahead of Álvarez, Luis Chavez and Orbelín Pineda carry the creative responsibility in central areas. Pineda's ability to find pockets between the lines and receive on the half-turn is critical to Mexico's attacking rhythm. But the player who will truly determine Mexico's attacking output is Santiago Giménez. Giménez has been one of the most clinical forwards in European club football over the last 2 seasons. He is relentless inside the penalty area. His movement off the ball, his ability to attack the near post, his composure in front of goal. If Mexico creates chances in this match, expect them to flow through him. The concern for Mexico? Transitions. Their defensive line can be caught high when possession turns over quickly. And against a South Korean side specifically built to punish exactly that kind of exposure, every misplaced pass in the opposition half carries genuine danger. South Korea, the counter-attacking machine. Now let's talk about South Korea, because this squad has evolved into something genuinely dangerous. The Taeguk Warriors are not the hard-working but technically limited side they were a decade ago. Today's South Korea is tactically sophisticated, physically exceptional, and capable of producing moments of genuine elite-level quality. Their entire system is designed around transition. They are comfortable ceding possession, sitting in a compact mid-block, and defending with 2 banks of 4 that are difficult to break down. Then, the moment they win the ball back, and this happens with a speed that punishes any team that is not alert, they move into their attacking phase with vertical, direct, high-speed passing. Kang-in is the architect of that transition. His ability to receive the ball in tight spaces, turn under pressure, and immediately identify the forward pass is exceptional. He is the player who converts South Korea's defensive work into attacking opportunity. Watch him specifically. The moment he gets the ball on the half turn, Mexico's defensive shape needs to be perfect. Hwang Hee-chan and the supporting attackers provide the running power behind Lee. Hwang is not a finesse player. He is physical, direct, and dangerous. He attacks space aggressively, and his movement behind defensive lines gives South Korea a dimension that most opponents struggle to neutralize. And then there is Heung-min. If you watch football and you don't know who Son is, here is what you need to understand. He is fast, legitimately elite pace fast. He is technically brilliant with both feet. He scores goals that other players cannot physically manufacture. He is one of perhaps 6 or 7 players on the planet who can, individually, change the outcome of a World Cup match in 90 minutes. Mexico's left side will spend this entire game managing Son's movement. And if they get that wrong, even once, South Korea will punish them. The tactical battle, where this game is won. Here is what I believe is the central tactical question of this match, and it is not one most analysts are talking about. Can Mexico force South Korea into a high defensive block? South Korea want to sit deep and counter. Mexico want to possess. At first glance, that looks like a natural standoff. But Mexico's challenge is to draw South Korea's midfield out of their defensive shape, to create situations where Lee Kang-in and the holding midfielders are chasing the ball rather than waiting to spring their transition. If Álvarez and Pineda can circulate possession quickly enough to shift South Korea's defensive block and create overloads on the wings, Mexico will create chances. Wide combinations between Hirving Lozano and the overlapping fullbacks could be the mechanism that unlocks South Korea's defensive structure. If, however, Mexico's possession becomes slow and predictable, if their buildup is too sideways, too deep, too careful, South Korea will be perfectly content to absorb and wait for the single moment of transition that puts Son in space behind the defensive line. The second tactical battleground is set pieces. Mexico are genuinely dangerous from dead ball situations. Cesar Montes and Johan Vazquez are powerful aerial threats from corners and free kicks. Luis Chavez's delivery from wide areas is exceptional. South Korea will need to be disciplined and organized at every set piece, because one moment of poor defensive organization from a corner could cost them everything. The predicted lineup. Mexico will most likely set up in a 4-3-3 with Guillermo Ochoa in goal, an experienced back four built around Montes and Vazquez at center back, Lozano and Giménez as the attacking threats, and Álvarez anchoring the midfield. South Korea will counter in a 4-2-3-1. Kim Min-jae, one of the most accomplished central defenders in world football, anchors the back line. Hwang In-bum and a holding partner sit in front of him. Lee Kang-in operates in the number 10 role behind Son, who leads the line with Hwang Hee-chan and additional attacking support either side of him. These are not lineups built for a draw. Both managers will set up to win this match. That tells you everything about the mentality both sides are carrying into this game. 3 questions that decide the match. There are exactly 3 questions that will determine this result. I want you to think about these as you watch. First, can Mexico score first? Mexico's record when they take the lead in World Cup group matches is exceptional. Their possession system becomes even more difficult to break down when they are ahead on the scoreboard, and South Korea's counterattacking model is less effective when they are chasing a deficit. The opening goal in this match carries enormous weight. Second, how does South Korea handle Mexico's set pieces? This is the hidden danger. Giménez's movement at near-post deliveries, Chavez's delivery quality, Montes's physicality in the air. South Korea's set-piece defending is the quiet vulnerability that Mexico will absolutely have identified in their preparation. Third, when does Son get his moment? Because he will get one. Mexico will not be able to limit him to zero involvement for 90 minutes. The question is whether that moment comes when the scoreline still makes it decisive. If Son gets his opportunity when the game is open and the result is in the balance, he will take it. The verdict and score prediction. This is genuinely one of the most difficult predictions of the entire group stage. Mexico's experience, tactical discipline, and set-piece threat give them a structural advantage. Their squad depth is superior. Their World Cup preparation, built on 7 consecutive tournaments, is unmatched. But South Korea, specifically Son Heung-min on current form, specifically Lee Kang-in as a creative force, specifically this squad's capacity to produce a tournament-defining moment when the stage is biggest, they are not here to make up numbers. We are predicting Mexico 2 to South Korea 1. Mexico's experience in midfield control ultimately wins out, but South Korea will not make this comfortable. Expect a tense, physical match that is not decided until the final 15 minutes. Son Heung-min will score. Mark that down. And this game will go to the wire. Here is something I want you to do right now. Drop your own score prediction in the comments below. Tell us whether you think Mexico holds on or South Korea produces another tournament miracle. The best predictions always come from this community, and this week I want to see how good your tactical reading actually is. And if you are not already subscribed to Football Kick Theory, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now. Every match at this World Cup gets this kind of deep breakdown before kickoff. You don't want to be the person in your group chat who didn't see it coming. Mexico versus South Korea at FIFA World Cup 2026. Two nations, two philosophies. One group stage match that could shape both teams' entire tournament. Remember where you heard it first. This is going to be one of the most talked about group stage results of the tournament. We'll be back before the next match with a full breakdown. Until then, keep watching, keep thinking, and keep supporting Football Kick Theory. See you in the next one.